I'm coming at the haters, they're making me more famous, cause my videos got more force than Darth Vader. Go! Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Turkish Delight with the Battlefront Bazaar, and this morning I'm bringing you quite a packed news update. So grab your breakfast, pull up a chair, and let's jump right into the news. With the release of the roadmap over the weekend, we got to see just when we can expect to see certain pieces of content, but one big negative thing that a lot of people took away from what we got shown was the unbearably long wait until we get a new map, at least one that has been announced. Geonosis has been fresh on a lot of people's minds since the leaks and its official announcement at EA Play, and a lot of players in the community were bummed to find out that the release of the new planet location got pushed back to the winter season, instead of the original projected fall release date that was announced. The last new map we got was Kessel earlier last month, which came 6 months after Crate, the only other new addition to the game. I'm not counting the maps from Battlefront 2015, such as Bespin and Jabba's Palace, as new additions, simply because I can't exactly call that new content. So this begs the question, if DICE will be releasing any filler maps to hold the community over until Geonosis, or even surprise us with an upcoming map that hasn't been announced yet. I'm not getting any hopes up, but one player asked Ben out on Twitter if we can expect to see any more maps from Battlefront 2015, saying it would be nice to see Scarif and the freezing chambers of Bespin again, and I have to agree on those two specifically. But Ben replied saying we will see. There are no plans right now, but they are carefully looking at all options. He added the last time Battlefront 2015 maps were brought up, the community had a pretty negative reaction, so that shows DICE and EA paid attention and are indeed listening. I think it would be nice to see another map from the first game, but not at the expense of new content. Ben actually confirms and elaborates on this very point in this comment out on Reddit. He says, the point still stands. Any work on those maps is going to take work away from elsewhere. We know you want new content. That's our priority too. Right now I'd say that the maps from the previous game are only a possibility if we see that it will not affect the delivery of new stuff. I'm glad to hear that new content is their priority as well, as it should be with the upcoming content that was outlined in the roadmap. It looks like fall and winter are going to be all Clone Wars and prequel era, which is the one era we have the least amount of overall content from, so that should definitely be the priority. If you could choose though, what maps from the first game would you like to see brought back? Let me know in a comment. But continuing this line of thought, Ben responded to a post on Reddit that showed a video of a really cool looking mod of hooded Darth Maul, asking why this skin isn't in the game yet. Ben's response said, "Given the chance, we'd want a load of appearances as well. I think I've said it elsewhere, but the team that make appearances also work on heroes. Think about the animation needed, etc. If we give that team a ton of appearances to do, then it has a knock-on effect to the heroes that are currently in development. We are investigating various new appearances and looking at what's possible." So after seeing that, any doubt that existed in my mind that DICE is currently running a small team with Battlefront 2 is now gone. It sounds like Guillaume, our hero designer, and anybody else on that team has their hands pretty full with the upcoming heroes and planned appearances, because in terms of available options within the Star Wars canon, a lot is possible, but in terms of prioritizing which of those options to turn into actual appearances, it sounds like some sacrifices need to be made. All this really points to is how EA views and treats this game. They blew it with the launch, then rolled back and allocated developers onto other projects they thought would make more money, like Battlefield 5. It's sad, it's pathetic, especially for a AAA game developer with the Star Wars license, but I've already made a rant video about this topic, so I'll leave that there. The next piece of information was disappointing, but also hopeful at the same time, about new blasters being added to the game. Ben says that new blasters and weapons are under investigation and would have possibly been on the roadmap if the team were feeling more confident about them. He says they don't want to put something on the roadmap only to have it not be ready in time, say just kidding, and piss a bunch of people off, which I can completely understand. But it sounds like there is an interest in adding them to the game, and it is something that is being looked at. It's just another bit of content that we will have to be patient for, unfortunately. On a Reddit thread, somebody asked about more events in Battlefront 2, like double credit or double XP weekends. In really disappointing news, Ben says that double credit events are probably not possible, as it throws the in-game economy out of balance. The last thing we want is for credits to be meaningless, he says, but double XP weekends are always an option. When somebody asked about raising the level cap in that case, Ben had this to say. I had a discussion on this last week, and on one hand, you can be forgiven for thinking it's just a number change, but there are some other things that need to be taken into account. Is this a global rank increase only? What about hero and trooper levels? What is given as a reward for hitting new ranks? Simple changes like that could potentially snowball into a bigger thing, but it's not something we are overly against. We just want to make sure that if we do anything in this area, it's done the right way and not quick and dirty for the sake of getting it out the door quickly. Anything progression-based needs care and consideration, and I have to say I agree with what he is saying here, though as somebody who has been rank 50 since December, I need some more rank in my life. But the last bit of news is some talk about future updates for upcoming heroes and other content. A Redditor pointed out that we've seen a lot from Grievous between the model rendering from the game's launch as well as the newly found animations and character structure in the game files. They expressed concern since we haven't seen anything else from the other 3 heroes, and Ben replied by saying that not everything ends up in the game files. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. He adds that Grievous is the most done out of the new heroes. He expands by saying in the future, he would like to provide the community with more than just a community transmission, and would like to showcase new content in screenshots or short video clips or some other form of media that is more engaging than just words on a page. Hopefully, he can figure something out for that, because I think that is something we'd all love to see happen. But with that, that brings this round of news to an end. The roadmap had a bit of a rocky reveal, with a lot of players expressing disappointment in what we got. I'm holding the roadmap to the disclaimer at the bottom though, and trusting that the blanks we see in it will be filled in later updates and more content announcements are made. That's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you all stopping by the bazaar. If you are a new viewer, consider becoming a subscriber to stay up to date with all content from this channel. If you like this round of news coverage, give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that bell next to the sub button so that you stay notified whenever I drop a new video. This has been Turkish Delight, and I'll see you all out on the battlefront. Peace.